8 ways for dealing with an angry partner. Try not to return outrage with anger. All things considered, control your feelings. That is the thing that is implied by determination. As you might have painfully found, anger can be hindering to connections. And anger accomplices negative disposition and practices can deplete your energy, leave you feeling baffled and unheard, and sabotage your prosperity as well as the well-being of the association. Be that as it may, in case you can manage an irate accomplice, your relationship might change significantly. Here are some powerful procedures for managing an angry partner. 1. De-escalate and neutralize emotionality. At the point when you attempt to control an angry partner, they might become guarded and more uncooperative. It is imprudent to blow up because of an angry partner. Better to leave the other individual alone irate and remember they will ultimately quiet down. The more quiet you stay, the speedier their anger might die down. Along these lines, you de-raise the circumstance. A definitive objective of de-acceleration is to diminish enthusiastic power and divert animosity toward expanded participation. 2. Be assertive and respectful. Acting emphatically is the way toward taking a situation wherein you can communicate your needs straightforwardly and deferentially while thinking about your partner's sentiments and needs too. At the point when you act and talk in a decisively deferential way, you are certain, legitimate, and open. Simultaneously, by being emphatic, you engage your partner to take a lot of obligation. 3. Convey constructively, understand, and validate. Individuals frequently act in an anger manner since they think they are not being heard, not being viewed in a serious way, or not being valued. They might feel disillusioned and overlooked. To try not to excite your partner's anger, it is savvy to effectively pay attention to them until you are certain they feel heard and comprehended. Go underneath the surface and attempt to comprehend their most profound necessities, and approve their sentiments and encounters. Approval is one way we convey acknowledgement of ourselves as well as other people. It doesn't mean concurring with everything. Maybe, it is perceiving and thinking about your accomplice's viewpoint. The way to approval is being available and truly endeavoring to comprehend. It is paying attention to your accomplice just as to your inward experience, remaining with it as opposed to driving it away or keeping away from it. The other piece of approval is precisely reflecting what you hear. For instance, what I hear you saying is, blank. Is that right? This ought to be managed without suspicion or judgment while being clear, quiet, and sympathetic. 4. Practice patience and compassion. Underneath anger regularly lies further and more weak feelings like dread, bitterness, or agony, which might be less available for your partner to address. For a brief period, outrage fills in as a defensive safeguard and causes your accomplice to feel incredible and in charge. However, over the long haul, it harms them from the inside. This is the reason have sympathy toward your accomplice and move away from fault and allegation. Persistence can fill in as the remedy to outrage inside yourself just as your accomplice. It involves being astute right now outrage emerges. It is tied in with pausing, not talking or doing whatever might be programmed or receptive. Tolerance and empathy are the establishments of positive energy and collaboration among individuals. 5. Pick your battles and think long-term. The expression, pick your fights, doesn't matter just to military battle. It is additionally applicable to associations with irate accomplices. Military pioneers might lose a few battles so they can win the conflict. They for the most part don't squander assets and energy on the ones they can't win. In a similar way, since people have various convictions, feelings, inclinations, and assumptions, connections can be a front line of sorts where practicing limitation is on occasion a shrewd methodology. The expression, pick your fights, doesn't make a difference just to military battle. It is additionally pertinent to associations with irate accomplices. Assuming you need to, you can discover a plenitude of points about which to contend with your accomplice. Notwithstanding, it would be to your advantage to be particular, relinquishing what makes a difference least. Keep in mind, it's neither reasonable nor down to earth to battle about each distinction you have. You might win the contention, at the end of the day your relationship might be debilitated. 6. Consider your actions and understand the triggers. To be dependable is to acknowledge your job in being baffled with a furious accomplice and thinking about what activities might trigger their outrage. It additionally implies getting what triggers you to act the manner in which you do. The more mindful you become, the not so much responsive but rather more valuable you might turn into. The outcome might be more noteworthy prosperity for you, your accomplice, and your relationship. In the event that you understand you assumed a part in heightening a contention, be dependable and recognize your part. Your proprietorship might diminish strain and urge your accomplice to accept possession also. 7. Address your challenge when your partner is calm. At the point when your accomplice's enthusiastic state is profoundly charged, their psychological state might be hindered. There is little point in resolving your issue as long as the outrage rules. Permit time for the negative energy to settle to set up more objective conversation. When both of you are quiet and gathered, address the issue that prompted your accomplice's furious conduct. Right now, they might be more open to tuning in and understanding. Likewise, remember to apply this standard to yourself. At the point when your enthusiastic or furious parts are actuated, set aside effort to quiet yourself. Outrage fills outrage, and quieting advances a more settled air. 8. Think influence, not control. Try not to zero in on attempting to change your accomplice. You can't. You can, notwithstanding, impact your accomplice and show them the advantages of your position. You can impact your accomplice by establishing a positive climate that is helpful for collaboration instead of control. You might have heard the articulation, "You can get a greater number of flies with nectar than vinegar." When you treat your band together with pleasantness, you might carry them nearer to you, and nearer to seeing how you feel and why you feel as such. This might build your odds of useful results. In the event that you apply the above methodologies, you might be astounded to perceive how much the energy among you and your accomplice changes and your relationship prospers. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe and share my video.